Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. It's been a while since I've made a video for various reasons, or even podcasts, but kind of in transition. But I did want to make a video because I did pick up a couple records and a CD and some other stuff. Talking about, well, I'll talk about the CD first, I guess. I did finally get the other Sculptured. The last video I think I mentioned Sculptured's second album. I thought it was the first album, it was the second album. But this is their first album, their debut album, Don Anderson of Agalloch. It came out in 1998. It's called The Spear of the Lily is Aureoled. I'm not Aureoled, but it's got the flower and stuff. And I've listened to this like twice now. I did listen to it years ago. The most interesting thing I think about it is the use of the horns and some strings, especially the horn section, with metal, with sort of progressive black metal vocals for the most part. There's some really well composed pieces. The production, of course, is of its time, and Don Anderson was pretty new and young to the industry, so I think he was kind of on a shoestring budget for the most part. But I still enjoy it. I appreciate it, and it's progressive metal of its kind. There's not as much piano as, like, say, on Embodiment, but they're still using piano, and there's some samples, of course, which I'd like to spend more time with it and try to track down what they're from. It might even mention in the booklet here. I can't remember, because, of course, using copyrights and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm still really excited for the next Sculptured record. It's supposed to come out, hopefully, this year, because they recorded it in 2017, the Liminal Phase, and especially with no Agalloch. Pelorian, John Holmes' main project is still active. In fact, they're playing at First Avenue. I saw a little thing for them when I saw the Deer Hunter and Between the Buried and Me. But last week from So Saturday, I should do a review of that show. Maybe separately, I will at some point. Anyway, but I wanted to talk about a record store, music store / paraphernalia, games, entertainment, incense, T-shirts, collectibles place called in Bloomington, Minnesota that closed or is in near process of being finally closed. They're doing a kind of going on a business sale that the wife and I went to this past Thursday called Discland, and I don't live in the South Metro of the Twin Cities anymore. Well, yeah, I don't really. I still live in the St. Paul area, but I lived in Eagan, and I worked in Bloomington. Where I worked was literally like half a mile away from this place, and it opened in the year like 99 or 2000, and that was right around the time I started there, so it coincided. And the thing I loved about Discland, they had a lot of music. I was buying a lot of CDs then, of course, and they were cheap. A lot of them were used, and you could sell your own, but they also had bootlegs. That was the most interesting. Videos, DVDs were new but becoming more popular, and even live CD bootlegs. It was like going to the record shows where they had the bootlegs, but any day I wanted to. Plus they had the sales. Anyway, but I did pick up, everything's 20% off now, and I think they're going to eventually increase the discount because they're trying to get rid of as much, if not all their inventory. Pink Floyd's More, and Pink Floyd's More, as you can see, the soundtrack to the film, and Obscured by Clouds, or the soundtrack to La Vallée, as it says right there. Whereas Obscured by Clouds especially, I have another copy of it, but I don't. This is the remastered version, and This is one of my all-time favorites. This is every song on here, even though some of it's sort of thematic or part of the soundtrack, and a lot of the songs actually aren't even used in the movie that extensively. Like you're half hour through the movie and it's already done. But yeah, this is 180 gram. Like, the version I got is like maybe a first or second pressing, but there's a scratch on it. I bought it at a record show years ago. But Childhood's End's my favorite track on this record. It's one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs in their whole catalog. But the gold that's in the What's the Deal, When You're In, Free 4 is really catchy. Stay, it's less is more, bluesy kind of psychedelic rock. David Gilmour sort of finding himself. It's pre-Dark Side of the Moon, just before. And then More, which I think came before this, is another one that I've been waiting to finally find a copy of this. The Nile Song's the song I know this album best for, but and I did rent the title, the movie. I believe it's just called More. Also, this is another 180 gram. Many years ago, because they had them at one of the video rental stores, DVD rental stores in Minneapolis, I believe on Hennepin Avenue. I forgot the name of it, but it may have been at a Hollywood Video. Actually, I think it was a Hollywood Video. But Cymbeline, green is the color. This is their real psychedelic phase, of course. I think this really works better than some other Floyd. I actually prefer this over Saucerful of Secrets. I definitely prefer it over Ummagumma's. Ummagumma's the only one I don't have now. And, well, I don't put this at Obscured by Clouds level, or like Animals, or even Atom Heart Mother. I would probably sooner go to this album right now than go to The Wall. Certainly to listen to the whole Wall, and I probably would go to it over Dark Side at this point. Wish You Were Here, I still think holds up, and I still enjoy, but it's a top, say, 8 or 9 Floyd record, whereas Obscured by Clouds I put just behind Animals. So, but both of these records are, as a Pink Floyd fan, are essential. So I can just show what I also picked up at the sale, at the Discland going out of business sale in Bloomington, Minnesota. I have a whole bunch. I grew up in high school, especially playing Nintendo and then video games and then Sega Genesis, and the sports games really were my thing for the most part. I loved arcade games, not necessarily sports only, but it was really the sports games that got me, and the hockey especially, the NHL from the Electronic Arts. But I enjoyed the basketball and the baseball, and so they had some of the older titles. They had this is the first Major League Baseball title game, MLBPA. I think that was in Electronic Arts. But then Tony LaRussa came out with one, 95, and then Lakers Celtics, the NBA playoffs, which is the very first NBA game that had all the teams. I have I want to say 20 or 30 games. I pretty much bought almost all from Discland a few years back, and a console, a Sega Genesis console. My original one I think I gave away, or my parents did something with. My brother may have had. So. But anyway, that's enough for now. I got to get back to work, of course, but I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Hopefully more podcasts and stuff will be coming up. I'm in the process of... I got a new laptop. The other laptop wasn't working. My most recent laptop I had for the last year and a half, 2 years, the port wasn't working, so I had to get a new laptop. But the one I bought just wasn't working where the cursor was moving, so I upgraded a little bit, and the new one I'm using I think is better. There are still some issues with it, but... The blogging aspect and typing aspect I think is fixed. So I should be getting back to my series on albums, calendars, and I'm working on a recommended, if you like, for fans of The Deer Hunter. And like I said, I'll probably want to do a separate video maybe later this week on the concert, even though it's over a week old. I wrote a review on seeing Between the Buried and Me, The Deer Hunter, and Leprous. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll see you next time.